Welcome, builders, griefers, and backdoor creepers. My name is Nigel, and I would like to welcome you to my hardcore TerraFirmaCraft Let's Play series. What I have basically done is loaded the bare minimum to the TerraFirmaCraft mod. In doing this, I believe I can bring a unique perspective to this mod and make a very enjoyable Let's Play series. So let's stop yapping and get to Minecrafting. The first thing we need to do is to create some stone tools, and that is done by gathering rocks and harvesting sticks from tree leaves. While I'm doing that, I would like to tell you what my goal is for this Let's Play series. I would like to create a farm to call home, to build a barn to hold all my cows, and to make farmlands to showcase all the crops you can plant and harvest in TerraFirmaCraft. Now that'll also include the fruit trees that are available to harvest in this mod. Now with 13 vegetables, 5 grains, 9 fruits, and 6 meats, there are over 17,000 different meals you can create with this mod. With that being said, all meals are unique and generated by the world seed, and I will make sure I put that in the description below for those who would like to play in this world. Now to do that, we're going to have to advance out of these stone tools into metal tools, while requiring us to make a forge, anvil, and to dig a mine just to get all the ore we're going to need to make the tools for our farm. So that's a little insight of what I would like to see in this Let's Play series. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We still need to make the stone tools to survive the night. So let's gather a few more of these dolomite rocks so we can begin making these stone tools we're going to need. This process is called knapping, and that is where you take 2 stones and strike them against each other to form a bladed surface. That is done by equipping the stones and right-clicking the ground with them in your hand, which brings up the knapping interface. And from here, you are going to create a shape of the tool head you're looking to make. As you can see, we made a stone axe head, consuming 1 rock. Next, we are creating a stone shovel head through the same process we just did with the axe stone head. There it is. One of the most important tools in our repertoire is the stone knife head, and that is partially due for use in agriculture, also in the food system to create our meals, but mostly it is important for being our first melee weapon. Lastly, I'm making a hammer so we'll be able to grind stone into flex, hammer ore into ingots, and to have a complete stone toolkit. So now, let's actually create the stone tools from our stone heads we just made. So I'll put 4 sticks in. There's our stone hammer, which consumes 1 stick and 1 head. Our stone knife, our stone shovel, and our stone axe. So now let's go put these stone tools to use. The first animal we should start looking for are probably sheep. They are going to drop 2 very important ingredients, wool and meat. And with those we'll be able to create the Triforce of survival: food, fire, and shelter.
What became of your lamb, Chloe?
I killed him.
You still wake up sometimes, don't you? You wake up in the dark and hear the screaming of the lamb.
With our sheepskins in hand, we now need to start looking for some clay. One of the easiest ways to locate clay are by these goldenrod flowers, which grow on top of the clay. Now clay is used to make our molds so that we can pour liquid metal into usable shapes. Also, clay is used for making a spindle, which we are going to need to turn raw wool into string. There are several steps in this process, which is why we need to mold a piece of clay and a stick into a clay spindle. This tool is now in a state known as greenware. That means the clay has been formed and dried, but is not yet set to fire, which we will need to do now. This is done by taking 2 sticks and putting them together to create what's called a fire starter. So now you need to take 3 sticks and drop them on the ground to create kindling. And from there you will take your fire starter and right click on the ground to create what's known as a fire pit. Now with an empty hand you're going to need to right click on the fire pit to bring up its interface. Logs are an excellent fuel for your fire, and each type of log has a burn temperature and length. Now while that is cooking, we can take our sheepskin and our knife and turn it into our wool, which we'll be using for our bows and our beds. Now that we have our clay fired and glazed, we can now score and slip our stick into the spindle head, thus creating our finished spindle. The spindle is now used to turn our wool into our yarn, which now we will take part of the yarn and turn it into cloth, and save the rest for our bowstrings. Alright, now that we're done with our cloth, we need to turn our logs into planks. That is done by putting your logs and your axe into your crafting window, which where we will then turn around and put 4 planks in our crafting window to create 1 wooden block. But we are still not finished. We need to take our now wooden blocks and create a crafting table. The crafting table is just like our crafting interface, but instead of having a 2x2 area, it has a 3x3 area, and is needed to make more advanced items, but has to be placed in the world, unlike our crafting interface. And with that, we are finally able to make our bed, sleep safely through the night, and to have a clear road as we travel along our path into TerraFirmaCraft.